What's going on, Facebook? It's Rob Howe from Diabetics Doing Things, and I'm super excited that you guys are joining us here today because I have a very special guest to introduce to you who's going to be partnering much more closely with Medtronic from here on. Jordan Hicks, welcome to the show, my friend.
How's it going, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here and excited to get to know you a little bit more. I'm a sports fan, so can't wait to hear a little bit about what it's like to play Major League Baseball with type 1 diabetes.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get into it.
So why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself? I'm super pumped that Medtronic has found you and activated you to help bring more awareness to life with diabetes. So why don't we start from the beginning?
Hey, I'm Jordan Hicks, and I'm 23 years old. I'm type 1 diabetic, and I'm from Houston, Texas. I got diagnosed when I was 17 years old, and it obviously hasn't been like the easiest road, but living my dream right now as a big leaguer, and it's all I could ask for.
Yeah, man. I was also diagnosed at 16, so around about the same time. What was it like for you? What do you remember about the beginning of kind of adjusting your life, especially as an athlete, to living with diabetes?
Well, I remember when before I got diagnosed, I kind of had these symptoms, like I lost 30 pounds. My mouth was always dry, and I had like really frequent urination. And I was like, man, these things don't seem like my life 5 months ago, 6 months ago. So I didn't really know. And then I went to school one day and I got like pink eye or something, and they sent me to the doctor, and it's the regular doctor I normally go to. And they checked my weight. That was the first red flag. I was 30 pounds down. So they're like, all right, let me test your blood sugar. And it didn't even read on their device. So like, it must be really high. They sent me to the emergency or the hospital, and they tested it. It was like upwards of 500 and something. My blood sugar was. So I got put into the hospital for about a week just to learn all the information and everything. But I feel like my mom was very emotional about the whole scenario, but I feel like I took it pretty well, and I feel like I kind of had to be there for her, and I knew where I was at in my life because I was 17 at that point. And yeah, but that was like the beginning phases of it.
Yeah, I remember like the first time in the emergency room, they gave me insulin and just like how much better I felt right away. And I was like, just whatever that was, just give me some more of that. That's what
it really, like, I've never thought about that until you just said it, but it really was like that feeling of, we were probably so always constantly high, our blood sugar was, we didn't even know. So getting back to like normal levels for like that period of time in the hospital was amazing.
That was so nice. I was like, yeah, whatever that is, more of that. I see you wearing the shirt, and I know you have done, and the hat as well. You've dubbed yourself the Diabetic Phenom, which I've heard a rumor started a little bit with Xbox. Tell us a little bit about the Diabetic Phenom and what that's all about.
So whenever I got diagnosed, I feel like that was one of the first things that came to me in my head. And Diabetic Phenom was it was more, I wouldn't say a nickname I would want anybody else calling me in the moment, but it was something for me in my mental headspace, and I put it on my Xbox name, and it's just something that stuck with me. Like, I feel like that name, I feel like I could go anywhere with it. So it really is a definition of me, and I feel like Diabetic Phenom can help a lot of kids get that same out of it almost, like, you know what I mean? So if I can inspire one or two kids, you know, I mean, that'd be the best thing for it.
Well, and I think it's super important, for kids who are out there listening today, and parents even whose kids love to play sports, just to be able to see somebody like yourself who's succeeding at such a high level, like the highest level in their sport, and they live with diabetes. I think it's such a, inspiring way to look at, life with diabetes is hard, but you can still overcome that and achieve your goals and dreams.
Exactly. I think you defined it perfectly.
So, why was it important for you to team up with Medtronic and bring more awareness to people with diabetes?
I feel like Medtronic, they're kind of at the top of the game, the medical industry and the type 1 diabetes and everything. I feel like it was very important for me to be with somebody that knew the field, if that makes sense. And I feel like it's a great partnership. Medtronic, I've been using their device since I had my surgery on my arm, and that was more getting my blood sugar stable so I could heal properly and just keeping it that way. And I feel like the pumps really just made a huge difference in my life. The technology was kind of you know, it was kind of, I don't know if I want to get on it right now. I don't know if this is the right time. But I feel like since I've made the adjustment, I don't want to think about life before it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I was very similar. When my first pump, and I guess I've only ever been on Medtronic pumps. So in 2008 or 9, I think it was my junior year of college, my endo recommended that I switch to a pump. And at first I was like, I resisted because I was like, an insulin pump is not sexy. And I was like, I literally said that. And my endo was like a 75-year-old woman. And she was like, well, it can be. It doesn't, like, because at that time I was like, I had a bunch of misinformation about what insulin pumps were all about. But she like walked me through it, and I got on, and ever since then I've had a Medtronic pump attached to my hip. You mentioned your surgery, and that also brings up you took last season, the 2020 season, off of baseball. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, me and my team, we decided to opt out. I just feel like it was the best decision for me in that time, and it was really a difficult decision because there was a lot of people involved in it. And I feel like I was like back and forth of which one am I gonna sit out, am I not gonna sit out? But I just feel like it was the right decision for me because I got to like really focus on have hands-on training and just hands-on PTs. And like if I was at the field, I'd almost feel like a distraction to my teammates because I'd be in there and they wouldn't be able to get, or maybe I wouldn't get the training they needed, or it's just vice versa. You know what I mean? So I just felt like it was the right decision, and it's been a good road so far. I can't wait to compete again. I'll tell you that.
Well, and I know for a competitor like yourself, like taking time off has got to be tough, especially because one of the things you're most well known for is throwing over 100 miles an hour. So, how excited are you to get back into the game, and what are you most looking forward to next season?
I mean, the thing I'm looking forward to the most is probably just competing again and getting out there and just doing my thing, man. Like it's been by the time I get on the field, it'll probably almost be 2 years, and words can't describe how ready I am. I've been putting in the work, putting in the time, putting in the effort, and I'm just hoping it's all going to pay off, and I can't wait.
Definitely, man. And you got to tell me because I don't know what this is like. So do you remember the first time you threw over 100 miles an hour? Tell us what that was like.
Yeah, I do. I was on the backfields at the St. Louis Cardinals facility in Jupiter, Florida. And my family was actually there, and like, I don't know. It was a special moment. They were there. They traveled down from Texas, and my grandma was there, and it was just everybody. So I got up on the mound to start. I was going to throw two or three innings that day. And I just started throwing it. Felt really good coming out. And then I just see more people coming behind the fence, the chain link fence. And like, I guess the word's getting around quick. And so my second inning, I heard I hit 100. I went out there. I was like, all right, I'm going to try to throw harder. But I only got to about like 100. But it was a good moment for me. It really was, like, just realizing I can do that. It was obviously, I think it's a goal for everybody, but it's not something you think about so much. It's like, maybe I'll get there, maybe I won't. But I mean, it happened. I'm blessed to be in the situation.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you're at the top of your game. You're playing in the big leagues. I think for kids who are out there dreaming big, kids like I was when I was a kid, like wanting to play at the highest level. It's pretty cool to be able to say, hey, there's a guy with diabetes who's out there throwing over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, also when I got diagnosed, I had the old guy that came in and like tried to talk to me. He played baseball like 50 years prior, before our meeting when I was in the hospital, and he told me, he's like, hey, you can do anything you want. You can do anything you want. And that stuck with me. I really appreciate that, man. I wish I knew his name, but also I wish, like, that's kind of what my plan is with Diabetic Phenom, and also getting out to hospitals, getting out to see these newly diagnosed people, just to go maybe put a face and name that they haven't met me, and also just inspire them that they can do what they want to do.
So let's talk about you outside of baseball for a little bit. Outside of baseball and diabetes, I feel like you're a pretty well-rounded guy. I was looking at your Instagram, like big into fashion. What should people know about you that maybe they don't know already?
I mean, I like to dress up for the occasion, but at the same time, right now, there's not a lot to dress. I mean, not a lot to dress up for. We're in the trying to be safe, not go out, not be too much of a spreader, I guess you could say. But whenever I like to dress up, I like to look my Gucci boots. I got some nice Mary jeans on, some nice t-shirts or collared shirts. But whenever I'm dressing down, just some sweatpants and Diabetic Phenom. So.
Yeah, I love it, man. And do you still make time to play Xbox on your Diabetic Phenom tag? What's your what games are you playing?
I'm playing the new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I'm still playing some Warzone, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, just because I really like that game. I think it was a well-made game. And I like to play Madden with my boys when they're in town, and also a little bit of 2K, not too much. So don't try to challenge me or anything. I'm all right.
I'm sure there are going to be some diabetic gamers in the comments that are going to be searching for you. So
I'll be on the lookout. But now my name's exposed, so there's no hiding from it.
Yeah, look out. What would you say? What would you say to people? Because I think diabetes has a certain stigma attached to it, and there are people who think that a diabetes diagnosis puts an end to people's dreams. I mean, you're living proof that that's not the case. But what would you say to those people who maybe are out there saying mean things or saying, taking away from people's dreams or people's, desires? What would you say to people who think that diabetes diagnosis puts an end to your dreams?
Well, I'll definitely tell you on the Xbox name, I get a lot of negative feedback, but I also get a lot of I'm type 1. What do you do now? So it's a good mix of both. At the same time, if there are the naysayers and people out there, you just gotta in one ear out the other. You got to be strong. You got to keep pushing on. I feel like it's live day by day, and that you just focus on your mission, and that's all you really need. And another note, they really don't know what we go through on a day-to-day basis. So it's a lot harder you get used to it, but it is a lot harder to live this life being type 1, and we just make it work. That's what we do.
We do. And you know what? I think it's important to show, and I'm trying to get my pump out of my pocket right now, but we're not just up here acting like people with diabetes, right? We actually, we live with diabetes. We're checking our blood sugar. We're calibrating CGMs. We're changing pump sites. We're dealing with the day in and day out burden and care of diabetes, because that's what we've got to do to stay alive.
Yeah, we want to stay alive. We want to keep thriving, keep living.
And I think it's just, for even for people like me who are way past their athletic prime, just to be able to see young guys like you who are out there at the highest level, taking care of themselves, setting an example for future generations of kids with diabetes to have somebody to look forward to. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be like that guy in the hospital. You'll be way older and you'll be talking to the next Jordan Hicks, in the hospital.
I really appreciate those comments. And also, yeah, that's the mission. It really is for me. And I kind of put it to a backseat to when I first got to the big leagues. But I had to eventually, because I had to focus on baseball. I had to focus on still adjusting to that lifestyle. And then now that I'm finally there, I feel like I'm established. I feel like I know what I got to do to succeed. I feel like I can actually put my time and effort into something that really matters as well. And that is spreading awareness and just trying to help any type 1 diabetics I can that really need some advice or even just some motivation. So
definitely. And I think, that's a good chance to have you tell people who are watching today where to find you. If you want to follow you on your journey, or even Diabetic Phenom, where do they go to do that?
I have a website, diabeticphenom.com. I also have, that'll be up and running in a couple days. I have my Instagram, Hicks12, and then I have the Twitter handle, which is jhicks007. But I'm on all the social medias except for TikTok, and I'm not on YouTube either. But yeah.
You don't do the TikTok dances? That's not your thing?
No, I don't have anything against them. I just, for me and where I'm at right now, I don't want to be putting my moves out there and exposing myself.
I get it. Yeah, I got to keep my moves on lockdown as well, mostly because nobody wants to see them. But that's key. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience of people here that are here today? Either about you've already shared so much about your journey and your inspirational messages, but any kind of closing thoughts?
Just go out there and do what you want to do and what you love, because at the end of the day, you do those two things, you're gonna love your life. And don't listen to the naysayers, the haters. You're always gonna have them. Everybody's gonna have them. But it's just a matter of how you push forward and past them, and don't hate right back. Just leave that let them say the negative energy and leave it there. But you're going to keep pushing forward and keep spreading positive energy.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Jordan, man, thank you for your time today. Thank you for all you're doing for people with diabetes. And man, wishing you best of luck going forward in your career. And I'm going to be following closely. This won't be the last time that you hear from either one of us.
Perfect. It was a good meeting. Good talking.
Yeah, and thanks to Medtronic Diabetes, and thanks to everybody who is here tonight watching. We're going to respond to your comments. So if you have any questions for Jordan or myself, go ahead and put them in there, and we'll get back to you.